We open on the town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. The date is Friday, December 22nd, 1967. What would normally be a time of joyous holiday festivities is now overshadowed by the gaping hole where the Silver Bridge had stood only 1 week prior. Multitudes of police, construction workers, and rescue teams are scattered along the banks of the Ohio River as divers continue to sort through the wreckage. Across town, Blake McKee, leaning the counter at the Main Street Diner, trying to salvage a fragment of normalcy. He's become a fixture of the town as much as the Silver Bridge itself. His normal good spirit and cheerful presence also seems to be lost within the icy waters of the Ohio. As he adjusts his paper hat, he hears the unmistakable ring of the front door. He barely looks up, but he can tell that 2 men have entered. They look like twins. They are short, have a dark complexion. Both are wearing dark overcoats that seem to be untouched by the Appalachian winter they have just escaped. Before Blake can pour the coffee, one of the men says, "We hear there's been flying saucers in the area." Blake pauses for a moment and thinks this is odd, as the bridge collapse has been the only thing on everyone's mind the past week. "Yeah, there's been a few stories like that, but I haven't seen anything," Blake says as he fills both cups and returns the pot to the warmer. "So what can I get you boys?" Blake says as he turns back towards the counter. The men are gone. Blake stares at the 2 cups of black coffee in front of him and watches the steam rise and vanish the same way as 2 visitors have that day. Cut to Blake McKee today. The date is September 26, 2025. He's once again visited by 2 strange men in poorly fashioned suits. He's thinking to himself, "I thought we were just talking about a large moth." Well, guess what, buddy? That's only the beginning.
What was that? Oh, well.
Well, Blake ruined the intro.
He did.
How did I ruin it?
You're talking.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I didn't know y'all were gonna make a actual story having like me.
Yeah.
Me, yeah, that's fantastic.
We got to set you up, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. To the 2 mystery men here.
Yeah, the 2 mystery men. Yeah, you'll find out about the 2 mystery men. So, well, I guess this is the maiden voyage of the Kingdom Decrypted. I am Hunter Moore. To my left is Matt Gordon. To my right is Blake McKee, who we just heard. So, Blake, since we're talking about the Mothman, let's open it up. What do you know about the Mothman? Have you heard of him? You know what he looks like?
I know he looks like a moth. I know he has something to do. All right, I don't know much. I feel like he has something to do with West Virginia.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. I'm on the right track. I don't know much aside from that. Maybe he has red eyes.
Yes, he does.
He sits up in trees, and if you see him up in the tree with the red eyes glowing, you run. That's all I know. So I'm excited to learn today and to have my mind convinced that he's out there.
Well, I'll say this. You normally you think that Bigfoot is like the main kind of guy. It's like when it comes to like the cryptids, he's the top guy. And normally I would agree with that, but after reading about the Mothman, I think
Mothman is like an onion
going up there. I think he's the main.
He's an onion. He has a lot of layers.
Yeah, he's got a lot of layers.
Yeah, I think if anything, this is like a defense of the Mothman. It's like I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. So let's go right into it. Blake was right. Point Pleasant, West Virginia is the hub of the Mothman. He doesn't venture far from there. Well, he does. I guess I shouldn't say that. We'll find more about that later. But that's like his home. That's where he likes to go and kick back and relax when he's not out terrorizing countrysides and stuff like that. So so just as important as the Mothman, we got to talk about Point Pleasant, West Virginia. It's a city at the confluence of the Ohio and the Kanawha River. The population was 4,101 at the time of the 2020 census, just for any of you census buffs out there. It was founded in 1774 after the Battle of Point Pleasant. And this is where it starts, because you can't really talk about Point Pleasant without talking about the Battle of Point Pleasant, because we're going to talk about a figure known by the name of Chief Cornstalk. And if you're a fan of the Mothman legend, Chief Cornstalk is a very important character. So, Blake, have you ever heard of Chief Cornstalk?
I've never heard of Chief Cornstalk in my life. Like, all right, I need to know, what does he have to do with the Mothman and Point Pleasant?
Some may say nothing at all. Some may say it's all
Everything.
the same thing. So let's go back to 1774. You didn't think we were going to go back this far?
No, I didn't. This is
Here we are.
good. I'm a history buff. I like this.
So in 1774, at this time, West Virginia was still part of the Virginia Commonwealth. So we're still in Virginia at this point. In the fall of 1774, in this area where Point Pleasant is, West Virginia, this area was used as a hunting ground by the Native American tribes, the Shawnee and the Mingo, under the leadership of Chief Cornstalk. So now the tensions were rising because increased traffic of settlers were moving east, and they were disturbing the land that were used by the natives as a hunting ground. So Lord Dunmore, the royal governor of Virginia at the time, he decides he's going to use military action to protect his settlers in the area and enforce his ownership of the land. So he's going in at that manifest destiny. He said, I want that land. He said, I got to kick everybody out. I got to protect my settlers. So what Dunmore does is he tasks Colonel Andrew Lewis to take 1,000 men from Western Virginia to go to Point Pleasant to link with another force being led by Dunmore himself. So Dunmore, he's got a guy that's going to bring a posse, and Dunmore's also going to bring a posse down there. They're going to team up, and they're going to go after these guys, and they're going to run them out of the land. But Chief Cornstalk was ready. He had also prepared an army of around 300 to 500 men from various tribes to take on those forces. So both sides, Cornstalk and Dunmore and his Colonel Lewis, they meet near the Ohio River, and they're camped out between 100 and 200 yards of each other. So they're right on top of each other. Both sides are anxious about the upcoming battle. So in order to avoid conflict, Chief Cornstalk decides he's going to send a peace offering because he's like, I don't want to lose a bunch of guys. And then the other side, too, they're really nervous because they know if they wipe out all these guys that Cornstalk's got with them, they're going to have to deal with a lot more natives on top of that. So both sides are kind of like, I don't really want to do this. So Cornstalk says, I'm going to send a peace envoy into Lewis's camp. But the problem is the envoy did not speak any English. So Cornstalk sends this envoy into the camp that cannot speak English, and he's carrying a wampum belt as a sign of peace. So it's a belt made of wampum. So this guy goes into the camp with this wampum belt, but then Colonel Lewis's men interpret this as a threat, and they're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna fight these guys."
Yeah.
Imagine like this guy showing up with this belt, and they're like, "Are you gonna let him talk to you like that?" And this guy just holds him up. It's like,
I guess we're going to fight at this point.
yeah. So well, that doesn't go well. So then the battle begins the next morning on October 10th, 1774. It lasts for hours, and then it eventually becomes a hand-to-hand combat fight. The Shawnee eventually retreat back to Ohio, across the Ohio River when a flanking maneuver is succeeded. So that day, 75 Virginians are killed, along with 140 wounded. The Shawnee deaths can't be determined because most of their bodies were thrown into the Ohio River, so we don't know how many they ended up losing. So then Chief Cornstalk decides he's going to meet with Lord Dunmore and sign a treaty giving Virginia rights to the land, and they're going to make the Ohio River the barrier between Virginia and the Shawnee land. And so this also forces Cornstalk to surrender 4 hostages to the British, which he also includes his son. So he's got to give up his son as part of this. So it's a bad deal.
Yeah.
So then all that happens, and then after this, the Revolutionary War starts, and Chief Cornstalk decides that the Shawnee should remain neutral and not pick a side or fighting. They shouldn't fight the British, and they shouldn't fight the American side. However, rogue bands of the Shawnee outside of Cornstalk's control decide they're going to take action and start claiming back all this land that they got stolen from them. So because of the rising tensions, Matthew Arbuckle, who was the commander at Fort Randolph in Point Pleasant, he decides he's going to hold hostage any Shawnee Indians that he runs in contact with. So around that time, 2 Shawnee also visit the fort, and they're captured. So Chief Cornstalk and his other son decide they're going to go there, and they're going to figure out why these guys got captured. And so obviously because this guy's going to be capturing Shawnee Indians, Cornstalk and his son show up too, and they get captured too. So now he's got 4 guys. He's got the 2 original guys, and he's got Cornstalk and his son. So while Cornstalk and everybody are at the fort, a militiaman who's stationed at the fort gets killed by unknown natives outside of the fort. And so in retaliation, soldiers at the fort execute Cornstalk, his son, and the other 2 guys. so Cornstalk gets killed there, but the main part of this whole story, the whole setup for this, is that according to the legend, as Cornstalk is dying, his last dying words is that he puts a curse on the land. So The whole land of West Virginia, the whole land of Point Pleasant is now cursed by
Mothman curse.
Keith Cornstalk. Yeah. So all that just to lead up to this. This is the crux of it. The land is cursed. So what do you think of that? You ever heard of that?
No, I haven't heard that. So what year was that?
1774. That was when they signed the treaty and the first Battle of Point Pleasant happened, and then 1777 is when Cornstalk dies.
Huh. Also, Matt's wanting to cut.
What's happening?
Matt.
My computer's about to die.
All right.
Just keep it going. We can cut this out.
All right. Well, so
We'll be able to.
I'll cut it out.
Well, so let's go to this. So the question is the land cursed? That's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, how do you prove if it's cursed or not? I mean, I guess if you see a Mothman, maybe there's a curse.
It's funny you ask. There is something you can look at. So let's look at this. Approximately 2 hours away from Point Pleasant is something called the Monogoth Mine. So in 1907, the number 6 and the number 8 mines exploded, killing 362 miners. Approximately 420 men were estimated to be in the mines, but this number is most likely higher, as it was common for miners to bring children and other adults into the mines undocumented. So you don't really know how many. So you don't know how many people were in that mine. But
what are they doing? Child labor? Why are there kids in the mines?
Oh, and you got to get that coal out of.
I guess it's easier for a kid to get in there and get the coal out. That makes sense. I get my kid down in there. That'd be fine. All right. Question, and you might have been able to say this. About to say this. What caused those explosions? Like, does it say, or is it just like they exploded?
It's unknown.
Okay.
And it's called the worst mine disaster in U.S. history, and it led to the creation of the U.S. Bureau of Mines. So it was so bad that they had to rework how mines are inspected and everything like that. So
no, I get that. If you have a bunch of people dying and a bunch of women and children in a mine, that probably shouldn't be there.
Right.
You might make some sort of, new guidelines for how you're going to do mines in the future.
Right. Yes. So then that's something that's suspicious. That happened. That's 2 hours away from Point Pleasant. That's not right on top of it. It's kind of close. It's a little bit far away. But how about this? Southern Airways flight 932. You've got a charter Southern Airways
flights now.
Yeah. You've got chartered Southern Airways Douglas DC domestic United States commercial jet flight. It was going from Stallings Field in Kinston, North Carolina, to the Huntington Tri-State Airport near Canova and Corrado, West Virginia. At 7:36 p.m. on November 14th, 1970, the aircraft crashed into a hill just short of the Tri-State Airport, killing all 75 people on board, which included 37 members of the Marshall University football team, 5 coaches, 7 staff members, 21 boosters, 2 pilots, 2 flight attendants, and a charter coordinator. The team was returning home after a loss against the East Carolina Pirates. This was considered the deadliest tragedy for any sports team in American history. The film "We Are Marshall" is based on this crash. I don't know if you've ever seen that before. I think it's got Matthew. In it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. Good movie.
I should watch it. So you got the mines, and you got a flight. All right, yeah. So we're getting into cursed territory.
I was going to say that. So this flight is 2 miles away from Point Pleasant. So you're getting pretty close. You're getting
kind of cursed.
So if that wasn't enough, you've got the Pleasance Power Station at Willow Island, West Virginia. The tower was under construction April 27th, 1978. 51 construction workers were killed, and it's considered the deadliest construction accident in U.S. history. As the tower was being constructed, it fell, killing 51 construction workers. OSHA did an investigation, though, and they determined that there was over 20 safety violations. So could be a curse, could just be shoddy building.
Yeah, shoddy engineering, the whole thing. But it could be a curse. Could be a curse. So you got deadliest construction accident.
Yep.
Deadliest mine accident, deadliest flight. Is that considered the deadliest flight?
For sports.
Deadliest. What was it? The deadliest something.
Sports team.
Yeah, the deadliest incident involving deadliest tragedy for any sports team in American history.
Jeez.
This power plant is 1 hour away from Point Pleasant.
We're just getting closer and closer and closer.
We're right on it.
They're there.
Take me there. What else?
So now we're in Point Pleasant. You understand kind of this backstory here. So you've got a supposed cursed land. You've got all these other things that have kind of happened around here. So let's go into the man we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Mothman. So let's get into it.
Where is he?
Well, so 7 miles outside of Point Pleasant, and it's 7 miles outside of Point Pleasant, you have a wildlife preservation. It's called the McClintock Wildlife Preservation. And in the middle of this, you have what the locals call the TNT area. So the TNT area in World War II, it was a munitions factory. And so you have an old abandoned munitions factory, and then you also have these concrete igloos that were used to store explosives. So, you've got like a concrete kind of dome that's like in the ground. And these are all connected by a tunnel system that's kind of all within the area. So you got this abandoned area out there with these igloos and these old abandoned buildings. So this area is well known to the locals in Point Pleasant. It's actually used as kind of like like teenagers go out there and drag race. They go out there like smoke weed. They go out there like do all sorts, like do what teenagers do, right?
Naturally.
Yeah. So it's well known. It's not known as like a haunted area. It's kind of well known as part of the town. People go out there to hang out. Some of the local clubs have set up archery ranges out there. People go out there to barbecue and picnic. So it's like a hangout spot for the locals.
Yeah, sounds nice.
Yeah,
a good holiday location, a good vacation spot.
Yeah, so it's kind of
the vacation spot.
if you ain't got nothing to do, just go out there and sit in a igloo with explosives.
Yeah, sounds like a great time.
Yeah, so because you have all this, it's nothing out of the ordinary. So on 11:30 p.m. on November 15th, 1966, two couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Mallett, they're driving through the TNT area in Scarberry's 1957 Chevrolet. They were looking to see if any of their other friends were in the area that night, just to kind of see if there's anybody else to hang out, do a little smoking, do a little whatever. Who knows?
A little.
So they're out there and they're looking for some people. And so they drive around. They realize nobody else is out there. So they turn the car around and they're going to go back to town and see if something else is happening. So as they're turning back and they're going back towards the entrance, they reach the old generator plant, which is right next to the entrance to the TNT area. And Linda gasps as she looks out her window. What does she see? The couple see two red circles in the darkness. They estimate the circles were 2 inches in diameter and about 6 inches apart. Roger stops the car, and the lights begin to move. The red lights begin to move away from the building. They notice they're attached to a man about 6 to 7 feet tall that looks like he has angel wings on his back. The figure was gray colored, and it was walking towards the door to the generator plant. So he's going inside. So there's a door open. He's going in.
Yeah.
So what happens next? So they get freaked out by this big winged man with red eyes.
I would be freaked out. As you would, naturally. It's
a natural response. So I think that's a you don't see that every day. But
you don't.
Especially if you're in West Virginia. What are you seeing out there? You ain't seen nothing like that. I'll tell you that.
That's like Hills Have Eyes too. That's what I would think. I'm about to be murdered by some hillbilly up in a hill that has red eyes. Yes. Carry on. I'm sorry. I got distracted. I was thinking about Hills Have Eyes.
Tell me what you want to say about it. This is all open to interpretation, however you want to take it.
That's right.
So what Roger does, he does what any sane person would do. He hits the gas and he books it down to Route 62 because he's heading back towards town. He's like, I'm getting away from this thing.
Getting out of Dodge.
As they're driving, they see the same figure standing on a hill now near the road as they're driving. When they drive past it, it spreads its wings and it flies straight up without flapping them like a jet.
Just wings out and
it goes like this, and it goes like it's got a jetpack on.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
Mothman defies physics.
He does. He gets sucked up like he's in a vacuum.
Yeah. According to this couple, Mothman defies physics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jumps up in a single bound like Superman.
He could have jumped. That's true. And wasn't this at night?
This was at night
Yes.
at 11:30. Yeah.
I can't see 20 feet away from me at night half the time. Not even 20. I can't see 10 feet away from me half the time.
Yeah,
So
but
I
they
don't know.
saw Mothman.
Yeah.
I think they saw him.
I don't know. They could have. They could have seen him. They could have seen some guy They could have seen some guy testing out a jetpack or something.
Yeah.
That's true. Now here's a question: did they get visited by any government entities afterwards?
Did they? We'll find out.
Oh my word!
We're not there yet, Blake.
Let's go. I'm jumping ahead.
You're jumping ahead, buddy. You're getting too ahead of this now. So as they're driving, this thing shoots up in the air. This thing starts chasing them on Route 62. And so this isn't like a highway, like a normal highway you would think of. This is like weaving around the mountain. So like this thing is chasing them. And Roger testifies that he was going at least 100 miles an hour. And he said this thing was catching up with him. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess if you can drive that fast around some mountain roads, this guy apparently can in a big old 57 Chevy. But
wow,
I mean,
the
dial,
the
numbers on the
two red
dial,
eyes to follow you.
yeah, so
I have a lot of questions. So it's not adding up. But anyways, carry on.
yeah. So Roger testifies that the figure was keeping up with him at that speed. So he says he was driving 100 miles an hour, and this thing was also flying 100 miles an hour. So just imagine that. So, but Mary Mallet, who was in the car, she says that as the creature was chasing them, it was making a squeaking noise similar to a mouse. So this thing's not only going 100 miles an hour, it's squeaking.
That sounds mothish to me.
Yeah. Because when I think of moss, I think of squeaks.
Squeaking.
Yeah. It's just a natural thing to think about.
Yes, it's like it could have been a bat. I would say it's a bat. It's a big
To me, a squeak would be a bat, but maybe the moths we know are so small you don't hear.
I guess
it's a big old bat.
A 6 to 7 foot bat or a 6 to 7 foot moth might squeak. However, it does fly like a jet, so I'd say it squeaks.
It may, because moth is so small you can't hear it, but it's like if you get a 6 foot
big,
yeah, that'll start making some noise. So Roger says that the creature follows him all the way to the city limits. So they get to the city, the thing stops following them. So the couples, they go straight for the sheriff's office and they tell Deputy Holstead what they just saw. And Holstead says that he knew the couples their whole life and he thinks that they were telling the truth. He said they weren't really people who were known to like get in trouble or make up stuff like this. And he saw that they were really freaked out by whatever they saw. So he believed them. So he goes, he has them drive back to the TNT area. And then he also follows them in his police cruiser. So he's like, bring me out there. I want to see what's going on. So they get back to the TNT area. They don't see anything. I mean, of course, right? Nothing's there. But Halstead's radio starts feeding back and starts doing like these weird like gargle sounds, and it starts to overpower like the dispatcher on the radio, according to him. So could be something. Next
man has radioactive capabilities.
I think
he emits like an electrical field.
Yeah, could be. He could have some electrical powers. Could be.
They didn't say nothing about no antennas, but
it's that jetpack he has on, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe he's got a scrambler on his back. That's what
you never know.
Is.
We're gonna find out today, aren't we?
I don't know. Well, let's see where this goes, right? So,
oh my gosh.
The next morning, Sheriff Johnson calls a press conference where the 4 witnesses are questioned. The story is then sent out over the wire, and the news starts reporting about it was called the Big Bird at the time, is what they coined this thing. So then an anonymous copy editor coins the name Mothman after the popular Batman TV show at the time. You know, the Adam West one. There's a villain called the Killer Moth, and so this guy was like, "Well, let's call him Mothman." So he thought he was being cool about that. So
he had no idea.
Better than Big Bird.
Yeah, I guess Big Bird was copywritten. He had to go with Mothman.
Yeah. So
then there's no records of the four as in the 2 couples ever recanting their story. So they maintain that they saw this thing. Their 4 written statements that they gave are all the same. There's no deviation between the 2. So they all saw the same thing. And then Linda Scarberry, she received treatment for shock, and she claims that she received phone calls and visits from strange men telling her not to discuss the events. So kind of what Blake was saying. Maybe if this lady's telling the truth, maybe. But
I'm on to something, boys. That's conspiracy 101. The FBI shows up. If the FBI shows up, you're on to something.
The FBI.
Yeah, that's true. The FBI.
That's right. That's right. For everyone listening and not watching, we're quotation marking.
No. That's not what the quotes are for. But
you'll find out soon enough who these people are.
All right.
So that's the first reported sighting of the Mothman, but it's not the first sighting of the Mothman, because you have another guy named Kenneth Duncan. This supposedly occurred 3 days before the first reported sighting. So this is November 12th, 1966. This is 3 days before the TNT incident. So Kenneth Duncan and 4 other men, they're digging a grave for Kenneth's father-in-law, Homer Smith, at a cemetery near Clinton in West Virginia. And Kenneth says that he saw a man-like figure fly out of some nearby trees and glide low over his head. The other guys he was with did not see this. And so Kenneth said it was gliding through the trees and it was in sight for about a minute. So then after the report of the November 15th sighting was published, Kenneth decided to share his encounter. So I'm thinking this guy just heard this story and was like, yeah, I saw it too.
Yeah, he just wanted to be kind of a part of the party. Yeah.
Just chasing. He's a clout chaser, trying to get in on the Mothman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the right way to phrase it. Clout chaser.
Yeah, trying to get in on the Mothman story. So then the other famous sighting is the Faye DeWitt sighting. This is late November 1966. Faye DeWitt says that she and her siblings drove to the TNT area to disprove the Mothman story. So they were like, we're gonna disprove this and say like it's not real, and they're gonna say that there's nothing to be afraid of in the TNT area. So she claimed that a creature with glowing red eyes and a feathered body crouched near the hood of her car and stared at him through the window for about 5 minutes. And so 5 minutes is a very long time.
That's a very long time for it to just be like,
yeah. She says they decided not to make any sudden moves to not provoke it, so like T-Rex in Jurassic Park.
If you don't move, it can't see you, but it's staring at you for 5 minutes.
For 5 whole minutes.
It don't got no eyelids.
It's something.
And so after the 5 minutes, it jumps off and it flies away. And she says she can see it in the moon as it flies away. You know, like E.T. So it's like
something you see in a movie. Yeah, E.T.
Yeah. And so so she claims that her brother drove back to the area after this encounter. So they got away after it flew away. So her brother says that he went back and the area was barricaded off by the military and by the police. There's no police reports or documentation to corroborate this, so it could just be some guy just could have made it up. So the other thing too is that her retelling of this occurs way later. She does the earliest telling I can find of this is 2000 or 2007, and this supposedly happened in 1966. She waited a really long time to kind of tell this. So I don't know. I don't know if Faye DeWitt, she might be a nice lady, but she could be clout chasing too. I don't know.
A little late to the game.
So after this, everybody starts seeing Mothman. Like the whole town starts seeing him. So it's like so he pops up all over the place. Everybody
He's
goes
a trend.
Yeah, he's the trend. It's like I can't think of anything similar where it's like everybody wants in on the Mothman. It's like there's a Mothman story now. So there were enough reports. There were enough reports of this Mothman that the sheriff's office starts sending people out there to patrol like nightly, and then they also keep children from going to recess during the day because they're scared that some big bird is
gonna come snatch them up.
yeah. So people are so scared. Yeah, it's like this thing is taking the town by it's holding the town hostage.
Yeah,
this Mothman. So then they claim this figure can do this. There's a lot of claims about what this thing was. The biggest thing is that that this thing was a bad omen or something that bad was going to happen in the town. And guess what? Something bad did happen in the town.
The town's cursed.
Yeah.
So Blake, have you heard of are you familiar with the Silver Bridge in Point Pleasant, West Virginia?
No, I'm not familiar with any of it. All this is new to me.
Well,
so tell me about the bridge.
In Point Pleasant, there's a there's a bridge that takes U.S. Route 35 over the Ohio River. So the bridge goes over the Ohio River. The official name is the Point Pleasant Bridge, but it's known as the Silver Bridge due to its aluminum paint. The bridge's total length is 2,235 feet, and it was in use for 39 years. On December 15th, 1967, the bridge collapses during heavy rush hour traffic. 35 cars were on the bridge when this thing collapsed, and it resulted in the deaths of 46 people, 2 of which were never found. So they could have, I think they could have been taken down the river. But yeah, so this bridge collapses. The wreckage was investigated, and it was discovered that the primary cause of the collapse was a failure of one of the eye bars. This was triggered by a 1/10 of an inch deep flaw in that eye bar. So very small. This very small little
stress fracture.
Yep, caused a fracture. And because this was a suspension bridge, it only had like 2 suspensions, I think, where like normal ones have like more than that. So when one fails, you have like a fail safe. This one had no fail safe. So
everything just went boom.
I'm looking up the bridge right now. I needed a visual. So it had a 1/10 of an inch?
1/10 of an inch flaw that caused a fracture.
Curious. That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy that there's no failsafe on it. How do you build a bridge and not have a failsafe?
This bridge was built in 1928.
Okay. Well,
so you got to think too. It's like in 1928 they were driving Model Ts, and now they're driving 57 Chevys, which are huge. And like, so yeah, you get these big old cars now. So I don't think
that makes sense.
Yeah, but this also like it changed the laws and everything to where like with bridges and stuff they had to have more inspections regularly because of the amount of fatalities and everything.
Yes.
Fun fact, I just realized, sorry, I'm looking at the picture in the aerial view. And I just realized I've been, because they did like the Memorial Bridge now, so they rebuilt it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. I've been on it before. Like I've been in this area. Cool. Fun fact.
Breaking story.
Yeah. I've been on the redone bridge and have not seen a Mothman. I can 100% guarantee. Truthfully,
it's Mothman proof.
Yeah, it's Mothman proof. They built it with Mothman in mind this time. Huh.
So it's funny that you didn't see Mothman when you were driving across the bridge, because the people at the time said they saw Mothman on the bridge before it collapsed. so he was there.
This is a different bridge, technically.
That's true.
I guess it's in the same spot, but I mean, it's reinforced at this point.
Yeah, Mothman proof.
Mothman proof.
Yeah,
I assume.
They had to redo that thing because Mothman broke it too easily, so they had to make sure that it was reinforced.
That's right.
So then all this is happening. This catches the attention of a man named John Keel, who's like the
crazy man.
What's the word? He's like the Mothman guy. It's like, if you want to learn about Mothman, this is the guy.
I don't know how you pronounce it. UFologist, I think, is what his proper term is.
Yeah.
Do you go to school for that? Is there a degree in ufology?
He studies extraterrestrials.
Yeah, this guy's the man. If that's a field you can go into, I mean, he's mastered it, because he just believes everything. There's nothing that this guy's like, no, that's probably not going to happen now. This guy, he's all in. So all this stuff is happening, and so he says he's gonna go down to Point Pleasant. So this is before the bridge. So he goes down. He's in Point. I don't know if he's in Point Pleasant when the bridge collapses, but he writes about it. So he's in that area, and he writes a book called The Mothman Prophecies, which is on Audible. I use one of my Audible credits to listen to this book.
What's your review of it? Is it like 4 stars, 5 stars?
If you want to just if you just want like the full like crazy picture of what's going on, then that's the book. If you want like a scientific study of what's going on, do not get this book. This book is like everything is real. Nothing's fake. Everything's real.
That's awesome. I like that though.
Yeah. So it's very entertaining. So he did a lot of asking around down there, and so he interviews some people, and so he talks to Mary Heyer, who's the local reporter down there. And before the bridge collapses, this is I think like a year before the bridge collapses or sometime close to it, she tells Keel that she had a nightmare of a lot of people drowning in the river and Christmas packages floating everywhere. So the bridge collapsed in December. She told him this, and after the collapse, she told him those dreams came true. So people were having premonitions that this bridge was going to collapse.
And
their Christmas presents were floating across the room.
Yeah. So nobody's getting anything for Christmas. They're going down the Ohio River.
Oh my gosh.
And then he has some other locals tell him that there was an uneasy feeling that something bad was about to happen before the bridge collapses too. So a lot of premonition that something was going to happen. So this is where some other things come in. So there have been other sightings of the Mothman at catastrophic events. So in 1986, there were reports that emerged. People were seeing a large, dark, headless creature with gigantic wings, and this was at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
Now I like Chernobyl. Well, that sounds bad. I don't like. You know what I mean. I'm incredibly interested in Chernobyl. Done a lot of research on Chernobyl. Also, the miniseries. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it. Small plug. Carry on.
I agree. It is very good, but they didn't include this Mothman thing. So how accurate can it really be?
Yeah. So, all right, Mothman, Chernobyl. Someone saw Mothman at Chernobyl.
Yeah, yes. Mothman did Chernobyl.
I think they had a different name for it.
Chernobyl.
It was like the Chernobyl bird or something like that.
Yeah, it is like some name for it.
So you're telling me the guy in the reactor control room doing the test could have actually just been Mothman in disguise, or that's something fabricated, and what actually happened was Mothman came around, and that electric pulse that we were talking about earlier, that electrical field around him that caused the radio to get staticky, caused the reactor to explode.
That or
it's all making sense now, ladies and gentlemen.
He could have saw Mothman and stopped the whole thing.
So you're thinking like John Keel now. This is John Keel brain like that you're hitting on right now.
I'm locked in. So all right, Mothman did Chernobyl. Awesome.
Yeah. Mothman also did.
Here it is, Blake.
9/11.
There are also claims that the creature was seen in New York on the morning of 9/11. There are photos of this, but obviously there's no way to validate it. It's just pictures. So you can't. There is a photo of Mothman flying by the World Trade Center.
Mothman 9/11. Oh my gosh, there are photos. What in the world? Interesting.
So there you go. You thought Bush did it. It was Mothman.
Bush did it. Yeah.
That'll be a later episode.
He was teamed up with the Mothman.
Yeah.
That's the real conspiracy.
That's just a little teaser.
Yeah. So
what the world?
Well, so if you think it can't get any crazier, wait till we talk about this. So as John Keel is in Point Pleasant, he starts to realize that there's more to this Mothman thing, that Mothman may not just be this creature in the woods. Mothman may be a symptom of something larger happening in this contained area of Point Pleasant. And what do I mean by that? So listen to this. So there's a couple of events that kind of happen around the area at the same time that John Keel links together and thinks that it's part of this like larger effort being done by some sort of he calls them ultra terrestrials, not extraterrestrials. So he thinks that we're all being toyed with by these kind of like these kind of societies outside of like our grasp that we can't really comprehend. So it's like
puppets.
Like we're puppets, yeah. So he links it to like fairies and stuff in the medieval times. So like we're being
Mothman could be a fairy.
Could be a fairy.
Yeah. Hey, anything's on the table at this point.
Like the Randy Savage of fairies.
Yeah, that's true. Big red eyes, flying like a jet.
So this leads us to talking about the enigmatic figure that is named Indrid Cold. So this is November 2nd, 1966, near Parkersburg, West Virginia. Woody Derenberger is going to be the character here. He's a sewing machine salesman, and he was driving home on Interstate 77 after work. So Woody says that a strange elongated craft or vehicle suddenly swerved in front of his truck, and it forced him to stop. Derenberger described this vehicle as an old-fashioned kerosene lamp chimney flaring at both ends, narrowing down to a small neck, and then enlarging on a great bulge in the center. The craft reportedly hovered a few feet above the ground. A man steps out of the craft. John Keel describes him as tall, with a dark tan, with a dark top coat, grinning broadly, and having an overall pleasant appearance. So this tall, smiling man gets out of this craft. Derenberger reports. Wait. Derenberger reports that the man spoke to him telepathically. He did not speak. Derenberger could hear what he was telling him. His lips never moved, so he's just standing at the window smiling like this. He's talking without moving his face, and so he comes up to Derenberger's Derenberger's truck, and he asks Derenberger to roll the window down, which Derenberger does. I would not do this. So,
that window would be up, locked.
And this is what the guy says to him: "My name is Cold. I sleep, breathe, and bleed like you do." He told Derenberger that he meant no harm, and he only wished to observe humans. He also reportedly mentioned that his people were from a place much like Earth. After a brief conversation, this man who introduced himself as Cold returns to his craft, which then departs quickly in the sky. Cold told Derenberger that he would see him again. The next day, Derenberger holds a press conference to talk about this. You can also there's a recording of this press conference on YouTube if you want to listen to it. It's pretty interesting. Other people in the area reported seeing a man on the road talking to Derenberger in his truck at the same time, and then other truck drivers also reported seeing this strange vehicle too. So, gold. And then
I'm looking it up. I have a lot of not homework necessarily, but I have a lot of stuff to listen to after this and to look at.
It's pretty interesting. So then, Indrid Cole was right. This was not the last time Woody Derenberger would see him. Woody Derenberger is visited by Cold and his associates multiple times after this incident. One account that I thought was kind of interesting was Indrid and his friend Carl came to Woody's house.
Carl.
Yeah, and they would all three of them would talk to each other telepathically. And so then, according to UFO researcher Gray Barker, one of these conversations was recorded, but you could only hear Woody talking as Indrid was speaking telepathically. So on the recording, you can only hear the guy that's real. because the other guys are talking.
Yeah. I'm sure that's legit.
Yeah. It is what it is. The guys are speaking telepathically. What do you expect?
Of course we couldn't hear it, obviously.
Yeah. So then another time, Woody said that Cold landed his spacecraft on his property, and Woody got aboard it. And so Cold then drives Woody to Brazil in this trip. And then Woody reports that he was disappointed that the interior of the craft was too terrestrial. It looked too normal. It wasn't like alien looking. He was sad that it was kind of just like a camper inside.
Had a nice couch.
Yeah.
Egg over in the corner.
Yes, he was sad that it wasn't like an alien thing. So that's disappointing to him. Woody also claims that Indrid Cole brought him to his home planet of Lanulos in the Ganymede galaxy. Woody says that the people on this planet were completely nude. And Indrid told Woody that he wouldn't be allowed outside of the craft because Woody was not properly vaccinated to go onto his planet. And then Woody says that he was then vaccinated properly, and then he was allowed on the planet. So there you go. You got to get your shots if you want to go to Lanulos.
You got to get your shot. No matter where you go, you got to get vaccinated.
Get that probing.
That's right. Got to get the jabs.
So if you want to go to a planet full of naked people, you can go. You got to get your shots. You can't just go. So then
go to the local CVS though to get those.
So it's interesting too because Woody also says that Indrid Cole didn't pick him up in his spaceship in his yard every time. On some of these occasions, Indrid Cole or one of his associates would pick up Woody in their Volkswagen and bring him to the spaceship so they could then go.
I mean, it's good to change it up every now and then. That makes sense. You don't want to get caught. you start getting into the same routine, that's when you get sloppy.
Yeah.
And that's when you get caught.
So that's the aliens really like their German automobiles. Apparently,
I can tell.
Volkswagen. So then Indrid also brought Woody to Saturn, so Woody could see the vastness of creation and the capabilities of their technology. So like, hey, look, I can bring you to Saturn. So they're just showing off.
Nice.
Like, hey, look.
Like, did they go on the planet? Like, did they go on to Saturn?
No, they did not, because it was barren. They don't want to go on Saturn. So they go to Lanulus. You can't go to Saturn.
Right.
So,
that'd be cool to like see the rings, I guess.
They did. They saw the rings. Woody specifically says how nice the rings are. They're very nice.
Very nice rings.
Saturn's really nice this time of year, according to.
Yeah. Not a place I want to visit.
Yeah. So that's the first time Indrid Cold is spotted. There's another sighting of him before Woody's. This is October 16th, 1966. Two guys, Martin Mouse Munov and James Jimmy Yankis, are walking up 4th Street in Elizabeth, New Jersey. They see what they describe as a surreal figure standing near a fence. The figure was a tall, bald man wearing a metal green suit, and he was staring at them, once again with a large grin. The man began to chase them until the two men were able to get away. This is a quote from Martin Mouse Munov. Mouse was his nickname. He says, "Jimmy nudged me and said, 'Who's that guy standing behind you?' I looked, and there he was, behind the fence, just standing there. He pivoted around, looked right at us, and then he grinned a big old grin."
Big old grin.
Big old grin, according to this guy.
And then he chased him.
So this guy was mean. He wasn't the other guy. So
not nice.
So if you get really into the lore, people say this was a different guy. This wasn't Indrid Cold. Indrid Cold would never do something like this. He wouldn't change him. He would bring
Indrid Cold would take you to his home planet to get
with
shot.
His Volkswagen.
With his Volkswagen. He would then take you to Saturn to look at the beautiful rings. This guy smiles at you and chases you. So maybe he was just trying to get closer to say, hey. I don't know.
Well,
or you're trying to kill him.
I would say the other thing too is that this guy had no ears or nose. So this can't be the same guy. Completely different guy.
Completely different guy. Like Voldemort.
Yeah, it's like Voldemort. So yeah, we don't. This is a false flag against Indrid Cold. This is not.
That's right. False cold.
Yeah, this is a false cold. So we don't want to talk about it. There's also another report in Point Pleasant. This is the Lilly family. They report mysterious events at their home, like slamming doors, metallic sounds like frying pans. They heard a baby crying sound similar to the Mothman. They also said there were diamond-shaped lights outside of their daughter Linda's window. So some diamonds outside. John Keel investigates this, and the Lily's daughter Linda says that she was sleeping one night and she awoke to see a man standing over her. She said it was a man, a big man, very broad. I couldn't see his face very well, but I could see that he was grinning at me. He walked around the bed and stood right over me. I screamed and hid under the covers. When I looked again, he was gone. So Indrid Cold, maybe the Hat Man.
He just likes getting close to people and smiling, I guess.
That sounds like ghost stuff. That don't sound like no.
I've seen Paranormal Activity.
So you think this is another this is an Indrid Cold? This is some other guy?
No, of course.
This is some spirit.
Cold would not intentionally scare a child. Cold would like go to the family and be like, "Hi, friends. Hop in my Volkswagen. Let's go." Well, he wouldn't speak. He would speak to them via telepathically.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Get in my Volkswagen. Let's go see some naked people."
And Saturn.
Yeah, see,
Saturn.
Indrid Cold is cool. These guys suck. I don't like.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. These other guys are spooky. No nose, no
They're
ears.
imposters.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so I think I'm with you guys. At first I was like, maybe this is him. Maybe he's just some crazy dude. But I think Indrid Cold. The more I think about it, it's like he's something else, man. He's cool.
He's too good for these people.
Yeah. I think he was showing Woody a good time. These people this dude's freaking him out. So this is somebody pretending to be Indrid Cold, I think, trying to screw with his rep.
That or Woody just had the vibe. These other people didn't.
Yeah. Woody was cool. These guys suck. They were just
yeah.
I was going to say, did any of these people end up in an insane asylum?
I don't know. As far as I know, Woody did not. And Woody was.
Are they cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
Woody wrote a book about it. I didn't go through it, but he wrote a book about all of his adventures with Indrid Cold. So it's like me and Indrid, all the stuff we did together. It's like the Adventures of Indrid Cold and Woody Derenberger.
Oh, I guess I gotta get that book.
Yeah, you hear about all the
another Audible.
So
that's right.
So Woody's daughter, she had another theory about who Indrid Cold was. She thinks that Indrid Cold was an alias of Valiant Thor. I had never heard of Valiant Thor before this, so I went down that rabbit hole. So you wonder, who's Valiant Thor? Valiant Thor is a supposed human extraterrestrial from Venus who came to warn humanity about nuclear weapons and help us like figure out a peaceful solution to all of our global problems. So according to there's a guy that wrote about this Valiant Thor. His name was Frank Stranges. He wrote a book called Stranger at the Pentagon. According to him, Valiant Thor landed in a craft near Alexandria, Virginia in March 1957. This was supposedly a handsome man with wavy brown hair, large eyes, and a friendly demeanor. Stranges claims that Thor was taken to the Pentagon to meet with President Eisenhower and Vice President Nixon. And during this time, Thor lived at the Pentagon for 3 years before leaving in 1960. And he left because he got fed up with us because we weren't listening to him, apparently. And he's just like, all right, screw you guys, blow each other up, I'm leaving. And so Stranges knows all this because he claimed to meet Thor at the Pentagon in 1959 after being brought inside the Pentagon by a friend he knew named Mr. X.
Ooh.
Stranges says that he had the clearance to go inside because he had a PhD in criminology and like he lectured or something. There's no real like good explanation for why this guy was allowed to go to the Pentagon. So Stranges said he spoke with Thor for 30 minutes and he said that Thor had no fingerprints, a perfect physique, and telepathic abilities. So, there's a photo of a person that Stranges claims is Thor. So you can look up Valiant Thor photograph. This is supposed to be him, but it's just a normal looking dude. It's like there's no way to tell. It's just some dude. So there's no way to tell like where the photo was taken. There's no evidence to confirm this story. It's just something. It's just some crazy thing.
This guy just looks like a normal dude.
It's just some dude. Yep.
I mean, he has a nose. He has ears. Interesting.
So Woody's daughter thinks that Indrid Cold may have been an alias of that guy. So I don't know. It's probably not. It's probably not. None of this is probably real, but it's very fascinating. So connecting with Indrid Cold, you then get into the sightings of these figures called the Men in Black that were seen around the Point Pleasant area. So these are the two guys that visited Blake at the very beginning, if you remember that story.
Full circle.
So we're coming full circle. So during the years of 1966 to 1967, before around the time the Mothman sightings happened and around the time the bridge collapses, people who saw the Mothman received mysterious visits from men dressed in black suits. And the description of these guys are always kind of the same. They have strange mannerisms. They have awkward speech. They're very robotic. They have odd physical features. The funny thing is that these guys, the way they describe them all the time is that they have olive complexions, Asian or foreign appearance, and they have unnaturally shiny shoes. So it's like a bunch of foreign guys with shiny shoes. So
yeah,
freshly buffed shoes.
Yeah. So it could be like mafia guys. Who knows? It's like you don't know what this could be. And they have a habit of threatening or silencing witnesses who see Mothman and like all this other stuff that's kind of happening. So several witnesses of UFOs or Mothman are visited by these guys. They're always driving really shiny cars. They always drive black Cadillacs a lot of the time. They have license plates that don't seem right. And like I said, the way they act is always really weird. Mary Heyer, who is the reporter who wrote about the Mothman a lot, she had several encounters with them. Keel writes that two of the men visited her and asked her, what would you do if somebody told you to stop writing about UFOs? So they're always asking about UFOs. They always are interrogating witnesses, telling them like, if you talk about these things, something bad is going to happen to you. The thing that's always weird too is that they always know about the people they're talking about. It's like they know like all these information. But the other thing too is that the way they act is always really weird, according to people. There's one report of a person being visited by these Men in Black, and they offered him Jell-O, and the Men in Black didn't know what Jell-O was, so they just tried drinking it like it was a drink. So it's like, so you get these like weird dudes just kind of walking around like not knowing what anything is.
Their
said
whole job is to kind of stop the chatter about the Mothman,
yeah,
UFOs.
Keep people
Okay,
quiet.
I
Yeah.
get it. If that
But-
was my job, I might be weird too. I'm just gonna be honest.
I
But
mean,
they-
if they're foreign, I mean, they may not know what Jello is.
Well, that's the thing is like they always describe him as like being like foreign looking and not really speaking really well. And I was just thinking like this could just be some foreign guys visiting the town, and these people are like, oh, it must be aliens.
Yeah,
The aliens.
they could have
They're
been
trying to
Polish or
silence
something.
me.
So it's
Yeah.
like, so you don't know. It's like because like injured. That's another thing is that Injured Cold, the original story of visiting Woody Derenberger. I've read some theories too that it could have just been a foreign guy telling Woody that he was injured and cold, and this guy was just like, "Oh, it's an alien."
Yeah. Honestly, that's believable. That is believable.
So, yeah, so,
Injured and cold. Injured cold. Okay. Alien.
yeah, it's like these people up in the mountains. It's like they've never seen just like an Italian guy, and they're just like, oh, it must be aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not used to shiny
Must
shoes.
be.
They got holes in their boots.
Yeah,
They're hardworking individuals.
Yeah, they're used to being in the coal mines.
That's true. That's true. Well, I think Matt too. I think Matt read something that like the people saw the Men in Black climbing the bridge or something.
Yeah. So there was reports like right before the bridge collapsed that people were seeing Mothman fly over the river, and then that there was the Men in Black were climbing up and down the bridges, like the right before it happened, and they reported it, and nothing happened. But like,
Fishy.
I don't know.
Fishy indeed.
So then, to connect all this, what is the Men in Black? What is the Mothman? What is Injured Cold? What is all this happening? So that's kind of like what I was saying too. Is that John Keel concludes that all these things together are connected manifestations of the same overarching intelligence or force. He says that Point Pleasant became a window area because so it's a place where normal reality is thin and paranormal phenomena are just kind of clustered together.
Yeah, it's like a gateway.
It's like a gateway. So the Mothman wasn't just a cryptid; he was a signal that something strange was happening. So it's like Mothman isn't the main
Bad guy.
He isn't the bad guy. He's just part of all this. It's like the more sinister and the more weird stuff is like these Men in Black. It's like Mothman was kind of seen like just like kind of like this precursor to all this, and it's like the
right.
So he argues that like it was all leading up to the bridge collapsing. Like this was all just like a sign kind of leading up to this bridge like falling apart. So it's like almost like these people were like in a like an ant farm. It's like they were just kind of being watched and they were kind of being tested about all this stuff, and then it just kind of ended with this bridge falling apart. So that's like
interesting.
So it's like they're manipulating everyone psychologically. They're feeding witnesses information. They're frightening them. They're predicting disasters. He said like the MIB and the Mothman encounters, they often coincide with poltergeist kind of stuff. There's like phone disturbances. There's like people get calls on the phone from like these robot voices, like weird stuff like that. So it's like it's all just kind of it's all part of the same hive.
Yeah. I don't even know what to ask. I don't have anything. It's just so interesting. So the Mothman was simply, I'm trying to think of the right word. Basically, like y'all said, he was a sign that something more was happening. And because you could see the Mothman, almost like a gateway was opening up. Now, is he something that came through that gateway? Or is he just kind of like with the gateway open, it kind of messes with people's minds?
No, he's I think he came. I think according
he came through the gateway.
He's in here. He's part of all this. It's like
is the gateway still open, or did somebody get in there and close that gateway?
People say that they still see the Mothman. I don't think the Men in Black stuff is still happening. It's like all that stuff stays around the 60s, especially like some people say they still see Injured Cold and like all this other stuff. But it's like I don't. Most of that's probably not real. But it's like
probably just some guy standing on the road, just like
yeah, some nice guy smiling. But it's like I think too. It's like I think 90% of this is probably made up, but that 10% that might be real is pretty interesting.
What's that?
Nailing down what 10% is real.
What's that bird that they think it might be?
There's a bird called the what is it?
It's a crane, ain't it?
Yeah, there's a crane that they said that the people who saw the original Mothman might have seen. And then some people say that it could have been this barred owl. This barred owl, I think, can have red eyes at night, so they could have seen that. The crane. Let me find I have the name of the crane written down.
Yeah, because I thought it was that because people wouldn't have recognized it because it wasn't native to Point Pleasant. It was from a neighboring place.
Yeah, it's the sandhill crane. It's about that bird is about 5 feet tall, and it's got a 7-foot wingspan. So they could have seen that. And it's like when you look at the sandhill crane, it's got a red head and it's kind of gray, so it does kind of look like what Mothman looks like.
And its head could have been tilted down, so they could have saw the red.
Weren't they glowing red eyes?
That's what they said. But I mean, it could have been headlights reflecting off the bird too.
That's the thing. I think the story that I think is the most credible is that first one, because it's like I think they saw something. It might not have been a veiled Mothman, but I think they saw something and it freaked them out. And I think that is where all this other stuff kind of springs off of. The Men in Black stuff, I don't know, because it's like, well, that's the other thing too, is when you look at the news articles from around the time, they're pretty tame. When they first come out, it's like, oh, these people saw this big bird, and then it just kind of
spirals.
It's like all this crazy stuff. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's like, no, it's Mothman. It's this other thing. It's doing this. It's this. But it's like
standard media.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of it's kind of like hyped up. But it's like the other thing too. It's kind of cool. Is like the town's like known for the Mothman now, and it's like pretty much kept the town running. It's like, I mean,
it's a tourist destination now.
So it's like I think the town leans into it a lot too. Because that's the other thing. There's a Mothman festival that they have every year. It just happened the other week, September 20th through the 21st, and it was it's been going 2002.
They have a statue.
They do have a statue. It's got a big old butt on it.
Yeah, it got erected in 2003, I think.
203. Yep. 2003.
Yeah, it was the 36th anniversary. They put it up.
That'd be cool to go, just to be there.
Just
I hate that I just drove
like
through.
Everybody else.
I had no idea that this place, like I had no idea this was the place when we were driving through. That'd be cool to go. We should go and see the statue.
Yeah, we should go take a picture for the Mothman statue.
I agree. Then we should go to those TNT bunkers or igloos, whatever they're called.
You can actually tour them. There's the Mothman Museum that's in Point Pleasant. And you can actually go and tour the area where the sightings were.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can get. Like I said, the TNT area is pretty. I think it's kind of blocked off a little bit, but people still go in there, and you can see all that stuff. And then like Matt was saying, the museum is pretty cool, and they talk about the museum has all the Men in Black stuff in there too. Because that's cool. That's a big part of the story. The injured cult is a really big part of the story. So it's like, I mean, the town leans into it really heavily. So. And it's like everybody there has a Mothman story. It's like everyone's seen him. Everyone's like, it's all this. Yeah, it's this whole lore.
It just comes with living there.
But the cool thing with like the TNT area too is like if you look at it, it's like the perfect place for a giant bird to live. Like, like there's giant concrete pillars and stuff that like you can nest and roost on, and then like, it's cool looking.
Well, Blake, that is the saga of the Mothman. What do you think of that?
I mean, I feel like I've learned so much. I feel like I still have the same questions. Well, I have more questions now of like, what's the latest on the Mothman? Like,
I think the last thing I saw, there was a Reddit post from 2023 where somebody took a picture and said that was the Mothman. I think they said they saw it. That was the latest one I could find.
Standard AI has to be AI generated.
There's active Facebook pages, Reddit pages, everything.
Yeah, I joined the Mothman Facebook group because just to kind of see.
I'm gonna have to join. I know there has to be a subreddit. Guarantee there's a subreddit somewhere.
There's probably thousands of subreddits.
I am. There's a conspiracy one, but that was incredibly knowledgeable.
That's where you're here to spread knowledge about the Mothman.
That's right. It was a master class.
Yeah. The master class on the Mothman. You got to learn. You got to know
Masterclass
your.
on the Mothman.
You got to know about the Mothman because it's like you got to.
Yeah.
I think it's like I think he gets a bad rap. I think the Mothman story is pretty intricate. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much lore behind it.
Like Matt was saying, like there's so many layers. It's like an onion.
Yeah.
You just keep peeling it back, and then you get to the Men in Black, and then you get to 9/11. And it's like, what's going on? But now that's cool.
I thought it was like a same thing like with Bigfoot, to where it's just this mystical being that people say they saw, but there's nothing really to it. But then like you read about it and it's like, oh, okay, there's more to this. It's like this giant alien thing, UFOs and everything.
We'll have to do an episode on Bigfoot.
Yeah, I think
The
so.
natural next step.
I think so. I think that's a good transition. I think if Bigfoot would at least be more normal. I don't know. There could be some crazy Bigfoot stories.
Yeah, you never know until you start deep diving.
Guarantee there will be some Men in Black in that story, I'm sure. But
well, boys, any final thoughts on the Mothman?
if you see a guy standing on the road smiling at you, and he walks up to your window, and he tells you to roll the window down, don't roll the window down. Just drive, and you'll be fine. You'll have a story to tell.
And if you do talk to him, if you're updated on your shots, it sounds like you're gonna have a crazy time.
As long as you pass the vibe check.
That's right. You just don't know what you're gonna get. Are you gonna get chased? Or are you gonna go to the naked planet? You just don't quite know what you're gonna get.
Go to Saturn.
That'd be fun.
Yep. Summer and Saturn, boys.
Well, this was fun. I learned a lot.
We all did. I learned something else.
We all learned. And I hope the listeners at home have learned a lot as well.
Yeah,
and
all five of them.
All 5 of them. 3 of them being us. Just kidding. Well,
plug it. Like the show. Keep on following us if you want to hear more crazy stuff. There's abundance of crazy things out there, and I think we can talk about them.
Until next time.
Moth it up.